listening to Reality Wrap. I'm your host, Melanie. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into Reality Wrap. Today we are going to be recapping last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 4, Episode 8. I have Sean here with me.
Hey everyone, how we doing?
And I have to say right now that I think The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is firing on all cylinders. And I'm going to say, whether you love Monica or you hate Monica, I know everybody kind of seems to be one direction or the other. I think she's really making this season good.
I agree. I think she's very much what we're going to watch, it looks like.
So last night, Monica's mom, after the episode, which realistically, the best part of this episode was what happened at the very end with Monica and her mom. So LD Millionaire, as she calls herself on Twitter, X, she went on and tweeted. What do they call it now? It's not X. I don't know. Anyway, she went on to Twitter and said, "Do housewives with me," she said. "It'll be fun," she said. "Not my finest hour. I take full responsibility and apologize for my abhorrent behavior on the occasion. All I can say is I'm sorry. I'm working on my language and my hot temper. I completely own this one. So sorry." Meanwhile, if Monica wants to go on national television and air all her dirty laundry, it's up to her. I didn't ask for my childhood details to be revealed, and it's a complete violation of my privacy that she did so. I should have stood up and left. This woman is a psycho. I mean,
she's a gift.
It goes so far beyond just her language. Who cares that she was swearing when she called her a motherfucker? The fact that she told Monica she didn't care, I don't care. She didn't care about Monica's feelings.
No, she didn't. And can we just talk about those eyes for a minute? It really does look like someone pasted on those like
googly eyes.
Googly eyes, yeah, the googly eyes on that woman. Like and you could see it when she said "motherfucker," and then doubled down on it when Monica was like, "Did you just call me a motherfucker?" And she said, "Yes, I did."
Yeah.
That was...
Yeah, it goes so beyond her just swearing. That was like the least of her...
She's a train wreck. She's a slow motion
behavior.
Train wreck.
Yeah.
You just can't turn away though.
No. But it makes me understand Monica and why she is the way she is. Because clearly her mother was like horrible to grow up with. She's really has to deal with some trauma that she has from her childhood.
And really, if you look at the ending of both episodes, right? This episode we just watched, right? Episode 8 and episode 7.
Okay.
They both ended with the mom being focal point of a lot of bad negative energy.
Yeah. Yeah. She's got some issues. And I'm going to assume, since she posted that on Twitter last night, that her and Monica are still not okay.
But Monica and we'll talk more about it, I'm sure, but Monica's in a tough situation where if you're using, for example, someone else's credit and your money to buy a car, you're really setting yourself up for, a problem, right? Because like we saw, the mom can legally take the car away even though Monica's paying for it because the car is...
But how many parents... I mean, we've signed for our children on stuff.
But this
for
is
an
a
apartment
different
lease
arrangement.
and stuff like that. What parent does that, though?
My guess is they're sharing the car. There's some arrangement where they're sharing the car or something like that, because otherwise how would she have access to a key? Right? How would she have taken the car?
She didn't take the car. She told Monica to bring the car by 4 p.m. Anyways, we're jumping way ahead of the episode. My whole point is that I feel like Monica really is making this season incredibly interesting. And like I said, if you love her or hate her, she's bringing a lot for this season. And especially for such a newbie.
Yeah. No, she's a pro. She just jumped right in and started swimming.
Yeah, exactly. This relationship with her mom it's horrible to watch, but at the same time, it's super fascinating.
As Joey Tribbiani used to say, it's mind-boggling.
Anyway, so we start this episode and we're at Whitney's house, and she and Justin are talking about how Whitney is going to go to dinner with Mary because Whitney wants to clear the air. We see Mary tell Whitney when she calls her, if she's not feeling it, that she's not going to be there.
That was awesome.
Whitney tells us that she doesn't know why she wants to make amends with Mary, but every time she goes to therapy or meditates, Mary keeps coming up, which I really question that. I feel like she's kind of doing this just to give herself a a story, because since the one with her marital problems between her and Justin are so fabricated, it's not even
Whitney's
funny.
not stirring shit. She's boring. There's nothing really going on with her. Her kids are perfect. Her life is perfect. Everything's kind of humming along, and so
yeah,
I think that's why she has to make these these inorganic
manufactured
moves, to manufacture drama.
So they talk about her daughter's birthday, and of course there's a scheduling conflict. Justin has a conference on the day of the birthday party, and so he can't be there. And of course Whitney's like, what do you mean? He's like, I thought it was going to be the weekend before. And she's like, no, I told you it was going to be. And you could tell he's just like, oh my God, I'm so over this conversation and this fake.
I can't wait till I start getting paychecks in and I can tell her to quit this show.
Yeah. Oh, she'll never quit the show.
No, she won't. I'm kidding.
Then Whitney asks if he made a therapy appointment, and he's like, nope, I'll do it right now. And so he pretends to I don't think any of their marital...
I'm pretty sure I saw him pick up a Fisher-Price phone.
Yeah, right? I don't think it's real. We then see Heather meeting up with Monica to go snowmobiling. It's the day after Angie K's party. So we see them go snowmobiling, and I love watching all the different snow sports that they come up with. And spring in the mountains, when you got the snow and the sun, is amazing. Everything is so pretty and bright.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's cold. Wet.
So...
I like it.
It's not, though, when it's in the spring.
I will say this. Snow always makes me appreciate the indoors.
Spring skiing is the best. Although I haven't skied since we moved away from Colorado.
Yeah.
12 years ago.
Yeah.
East Coast skiing is not quite the same.
No.
Anyway, so they finish snowmobiling and they're sitting in the lodge talking, and Heather tells Monica that she feels bad for Monica after seeing her interaction with her mom. Monica tells her that her relationship is very volatile with her mom, and we learn that when Monica was 12 years old, that her mom moved to New York City and left Monica behind with a family in Pennsylvania that they were friends with. Monica's mom actually came out with a video when they were doing the preview of this episode. I think it was like last week, and she came out and said that she went to New York City for a job and that she didn't realize how expensive it was going to be in New York City, and so she left Monica with this family that Monica loved, and that it wasn't a problem. Monica was really close with them, and that after, I think it was 6 months or something like that, they ended up moving to Arizona. So obviously she did leave Monica behind while she went to New York City, and she actually admits it in this episode.
She sure did.
Anyways, yeah, so she put that out on Twitter, and then she deleted it. I'm like, oh my God, this woman. Monica thanks Heather for calling her and meeting up because she didn't think that she would even be able to get out of bed today after what had happened with her mom. And you could tell Heather feels bad for her.
This is where, like I was telling you last night, she totally gets it with her mom. And if we remember in episode 7 as it was ending, Angie and Lisa were both like, oh my God, poor Monica's mom. They were definitely on Monica's mom's side. Heather saw the whole thing the whole through, and she saw, because she had a similar experience with her mom, and she was...
Well, her mom and her were very close, but then when she left the church, her mom decided to not talk to her. That's crazy. We're now over at Lisa's house. John is talking to Jack about when he went on a mission, and we find out you were right about this. You said this back when we first found out that he was going on a mission, that you're like, I bet he told his dad. So you were right. So he had told his dad 2 weeks before that he was going to go on this mission before he told Lisa. I guess he asked his dad not to tell his mom.
Oh, kids pull that all the time. They'll be like, I'm going to tell you something, and I'm not going to tell mom, and you can't either. And parents will do that.
Yeah, our kids have done that, for sure.
Our kids have done that, and our parents have done that. My parents have done that with me, where this is happening, you can't tell your dad. It's like, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Your parents said that to you?
They do that all the time.
Oh my gosh, that's a big thing for a kid to carry.
They do it now. I mean, they didn't do it when I was
little. Oh, gotcha.
No, they do it now.
Gotcha. We find out that Lisa's sister was a missionary, and I guess he had met Lisa's sister when he was on his mission, and then that's how he's met Lisa. John actually seems like he's super proud of Jack for going on this mission.
Yeah,
so
he's tearing up.
Feel like that maybe John is a little bit more serious about being an LDS member.
Yeah,
than
John.
Lisa.
you could see it when John had his moment on the camera.
Oh yeah, you could see
he was just talking about Jack, and his eyes were getting watery and everything.
Yeah, he's super proud of him.
That's a proud man right there, right?
Yeah.
And he's very proud of his son. Even if he didn't agree or disagree, that wasn't it. He was just simply proud. And that was a nice moment.
Well, what's interesting, do you remember in the episode where Lisa and Jack were getting their pedicures done, and she told him, I'm not going to go into the church, but your dad is going to be there. So I get the feeling that the dad is more into the church than Lisa is, because she's technically, I don't know if she wasn't allowed, but she said she wasn't worthy of going into the real temples, remember?
Yeah, I don't know.
But John apparently is, because he was going to be there.
I don't have any context yet on the religion, so I don't know if that, maybe she's playing a game with words, to your point, and she's not allowed to go, or maybe she just didn't want to. I mean, because she does kind of rebel from it too. I mean, she
owns a tequila company,
right?
But John makes money off of that too. So I mean, he's kind of.
Then what
I
is
don't
it
think
then?
she was initially an LDS person. I don't know.
Well, she also has a problem with the missions.
She doesn't come out and say it, but I think
she clearly does.
She does. She does not want her son going on.
John heard it 2 weeks ahead of time. That's also why remember when she said to the room of kids, which is also a really nice moment. She said, "How many of you knew before we knew?"
And they all raised their hand.
Everyone almost raised their hand.
Lisa comes into the room and she tells this weird story about how one of her roommates had put on all of her clothes, and when she came home, the roommate was sitting in her room, and she told Lisa that she wanted to see what it was like to be her for the day. I'm not really sure how this related to Jack. I mean, I get what she was saying, like if you're ever in an uncomfortable position, the door's always open, but I felt like the story, she didn't need to say this story.
It was a Me Too moment for Mom.
It was.
I have an important story too moment,
Yeah.
I guess. Not Me Too, but I have an important story too. And it fell short.
It did.
Yeah.
It fell flat. Even he was kind of like, why are you telling me
the college
this story
misfires. It was also negative, and whereas John's story was very positive.
Yeah, it was a positive experience.
Hers was something about happened to her, and it was very negative and his was more like, go out there and be adventurous, and hers was like, you come home at the slightest problem.
Yeah.
Very different messages, yeah.
You're right. That didn't even dawn on me, but now that you say it that way, you're right. His was very positive, and hers was, you can come home if it goes
And then
bad.
I wrote, Lisa's having a tough year. Remember, I told you that in the beginning of the season, she's going to have it. She was having a tough year. I feel bad for her. Like, it's like there's, I don't know, like she was so cool in the first season. You know what I mean? She was like wicked cool, and I didn't see the other seasons as much. And then this season, she does seem like she's struggling.
She was a pain in the ass in season 2. I think it was season 2. Last year, she was okay, I think. I don't really remember last year because it was so overshadowed by Jen Shaw.
Oh.
Anyway, now we're with Heather, Whitney, Meredith, and Monica, and they meet up to go cross-country skiing. Again, love all the outdoor sports that they're doing.
Yeah.
Whitney makes a funny comment about how she didn't think she would be cross-country skiing until she was older, like all the elderly ladies she sees in her neighborhood. They zoom in on Meredith when they say that, and didn't she say something like,
she's like, I can't believe this, I'm a natural.
Yeah,
like
and I thought that was so funny.
Person activity, and
yeah.
I'm sure the producers love that.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that was so
They're probably like, look, this show writes itself. Yeah, exactly.
Monica and Whitney cannot get the hang of it. They keep falling over.
And that might have been why the skiing was so quick, because I noticed it was literally them going up some hill, and then all of a sudden, they're coming in a parking lot.
Yeah.
And they're going to whip out a table and drink in the middle of the
Well, for one, it's probably hard for the cameraman to film while they're skiing. And for two,
they were falling down.
I think they keep doing all these outside scenes because they don't have to get permission to film because they're outside in like a public space. I think that's probably why we're seeing so much of this outside stuff.
Andy's saving money for the corporation.
Well, it's not Andy.
Good
it's
job,
the production
Andy.
company. So they finish up skiing and they do like a little tailgate, and we find out that Monica's car is in her mom's name, and I guess after Angie's party, Monica's mom got mad and called up Monica and told Monica that she needed to have the car back by 4 p.m. or she was going to call the cops on Monica and say the car was stolen. So Monica had to go out and rent a car because she has 4 little kids that she's got to drive around everywhere. I mean, her mom is
There's
petty.
a lot of problems here. So first off, The car is in mom's name. Monica's making payments. It's a Range Rover. I mean, it's not even like an economical car. It's a high-end car.
Yeah.
And on and on and on. I mean, it's just one bad decision after another.
But the point is that her mom, especially if she's not the one making payments, like that was so incredibly petty. Obviously, she's got credit problems.
Googly eyes is already insane. We know that.
Yeah.
So the thing that I've noticed about mom there is she's all about control.
Oh, big time. Well, and that's what Meredith says. You need to take your control back.
I know we want to wait for the dinner, but, the whole beginning of the dinner was a control move.
Oh, yeah. We'll get into that.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Meredith tells her that she needs to take her power back, and she compares her mom to Ted Bundy, because the women are like, I don't know, I thought she was lovely. And she goes, well, Ted Bundy was very charismatic as well. And they all just kind of like sat there
She's
like,
not wrong.
Okay. We find out that Whitney also does not talk to her mom. Or she didn't talk to her mom for 13 years. And then Whitney invites them all over for Bobby's birthday party. And Whitney tells Meredith that she wants her to come, but she wants her to know that Angie's going to be there. And she's a little concerned that Meredith said she wanted to ruin Angie's life and that there seems to be a pattern. We find out that I guess Whitney had actually drove by Meredith's car crash on the way down the mountain and didn't call Meredith. Whitney tells her, well, I saw a car in the snowbank. I didn't think it was your accident because it was just a car in the snowbank, and you had said that you were almost in this, or you were in this terrible accident. I didn't realize it was just you crashing into a snowbank. Meredith says that she did see her life flash before her eyes and that she was very upset that her last interaction that day was with Angie and that it made her sick. She tells Whitney that she doesn't wish any ill on anybody, including Angie. So
I think Meredith, with those long pauses, was a bit much last night. And like when she was trying to make that point, her life did flash before her eyes. Watch it again. They're too long.
Lisa was on Watch What Happens Live last night, and Andy asked her about Meredith's car accident. She says, I drove by it as well. It was just a car in the snowbank. But if she says she saw her life flash before her eyes, then that's what she saw. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what's up with Meredith.
And this is another where Heather, just being the champ that she is, at the end of the whole, let's sit in the parking lot and drink and eat cheese and wine like criminals. Heather turns to Monica and goes, bring your mom.
Did she? Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, she goes, bring your mom. They were going, like, whatever event they were going to. She goes, bring your mom. And Monica goes, what?
Oh, to Bobby's birthday party?
Yeah.
Oh, I totally missed that.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
We're now over at Angie's house, and her dad comes over. I actually liked this scene a lot. I don't mind Angie so much when it's just like her and her family.
When Angie is not upset, she's really cool.
When she's with the group, I feel like she's super thirsty.
Competitive, yeah.
But when she's just like in her house, like with her dad, she was like in her element. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or with Sean. She seems to mellow in smaller groups, and also when she's with her dad and her husband, Sean.
So her dad makes them chicken and lemon rice soup. And
I'm starting to like him. He seems like a cool guy.
The dad?
Yeah. Like he probably knows a lot of things.
Well, dude, he raised 7 kids by himself on his own.
That's someone you want to sit down with a glass of wine with and be like, let's just talk for a while,
Oh, for sure. I imagine his insight on everything.
He could tell you, yeah. What do you think of this and what do you think of that?
Yeah. Angie tells her dad that she and Sean have not been on a date for over a year and a half. And she's like, because my mom died when I was so young, I didn't really have any guide for marriage. I didn't see my dad with wife. And when she was alive, they weren't really going out. So I just kind of had to figure out how to be married on my own. Sean arrives and Angie tells him that her dad made some soup. He kind of didn't seem too interested in them. I don't know if it was...
So I don't know how often dad comes over. I was thinking about this because he didn't shake his hand, he didn't hug him, he didn't do anything. He just came in the house, took his coat off, said 2 words, and split. And he was cordial and polite, which is what you would do if you were a guest. Then I was like, well, what if the dad's over like every day, right?
Yeah.
And then, you wouldn't hug him, you wouldn't shake his hand, you would just be like, oh, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? So I don't know the situation there. It's only the first time. But I did notice it was, to your point last night, it was interesting that he ignored the dad. He did ignore him. I mean... I
didn't think he ignored him. He just...
Okay, you're right. He didn't ignore him, but he didn't shake his hand. He didn't hug him.
I didn't think
I shake your dad's hand or I hug him every time I see him.
Yeah, but my dad lives in another state.
True.
But what I thought was weird was when she said, oh, maybe I should serve him since I served you, to her dad. Anyway, something weird was going on there, yes. I thought. We now have Whitney and Mary's dinner at the Provisions.
Yeah, Mary showed up.
Mary arrived. Yeah, she must have been feeling it. Mary arrives and Whitney thanks her for coming out in the snowstorm. And so they order and Whitney tells Mary that, oh, we missed you at the Greek Easter. And she's like, I didn't miss it.
That was awesome.
The waitress comes over and accidentally spills the tiniest amount of food. And Mary was like so offended. And I don't even think it fell on her. It fell onto the table.
I don't know. She had a dark colored outfit. She said it fell on her. Then maybe it fell on her.
It was the way she treats people in the service industry is...
People in general.
Yeah, people in general.
She just got done saying, I didn't miss you.
Yeah.
And, you know, after they got done saying, I missed you.
Yeah.
She's very...
Mary's like, well, you invited me, so you better start talking. And Whitney's like, well, you know, I'm really sorry. I got caught up in the BS. And Mary's like, you know, you severed our future. And Whitney's like, you need to take accountability for the nasty text messages that you sent me. And then she reads them all off. And it was like, you have to inject all this stuff into your face. I'm younger looking than you, and I don't have any plastic surgery, which is a lie. But whatever. So Whitney's like, you know, you need to take accountability for that. This pisses Mary off, and she's like, you need to grow up, little girl. She refuses to take any accountability for her text messages, and she's like, there's no way you can compare my text messages to you calling me and my husband a predator, which she's not wrong. Being called a predator.
But neither was Whitney.
No, I mean, but the text messages were personal, sent directly to Whitney. Whitney called Mary and her husband a predator on national TV.
On national TV.
So... I kind of get what Mary's saying.
Yeah, no, I sided with Mary on this one, and also with Whitney's husband. What are you doing?
Yeah, I think her trying to make amends with Mary is stupid. Like, Mary doesn't like you. She's not going to like you, and she's certainly not going to.
It just felt to me like Whitney walked up to the producers and said, I have an idea. And they went, go ahead. You know, they knew what she was going to get into. Everyone knew what she was about to step into, and they let her.
Yeah.
I bet.
Mary tells Whitney to wake up, bobblehead.
That was.
And she tells the waitress that she wants to take her food to go.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
And she said, I will take my meal. Like, she wasn't leaving. I would have just left the meal. I'm like, I'm not taking this food.
But she did. Well, took her food also when...
she always takes her food.
Yeah, when she left.
Maybe she has like a sugar thing. She has to eat at a certain time. Well, I'll say this. Whitney got her closure.
Yeah. Mary will never talk to her again.
It's closed.
The door is closed. We're now at Jack's mission reveal party, which I guess is a huge deal in the Mormon church. Last night on Watch What Happens Live, Lisa said that she had been to 13 reveal parties in the last year. I was like,
what's a reveal party? I don't understand this.
They find out where they're going to go do their 2-year mission. You didn't understand what that was about last night?
No clue.
He read the letter where he was going.
Kept saying reveal party.
Yeah, where he was going.
What's a reveal party?
You totally missed the whole thing.
Clue. And then I was like, why are they all gathered together in this room?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I guess that was the reveal party.
Yes, that's exactly what it
was. And I was watching it too. Like, I wasn't not.
I know, you were taking notes.
Usually I pay way better attention to you at this.
But maybe you were writing at the time.
Maybe.
Anyway, Lisa asks the room how many people knew that Jack was going on a mission before they did, and pretty much the whole room raises their hand.
I'm pretty sure you and I knew before they knew.
Yeah, right? We find out that Jack is going to Colombia for his mission. Lisa tells us that her friend's son was just held up at gunpoint in Colombia. So now he carries a couple dollars, or he carries cash in his pocket, and anytime he gets held up, he just gives them the cash. So they leave him alone. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, so a couple things. First off, when Jack stood up and gave that speech, right, because I do a lot of speaking, and I'll say he's got a future ahead of him.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Wow. First off, to be able to do it, to have the presence.
And be 18.
And, yeah, at any age. I know people in their 50s that can't do that.
Oh, I can't do public speaking.
Lisa, as overall, I'll say this, like, when he first told Lisa to where she is now, I gotta say I'm pretty proud of her, right? Because she's adjusting very well at this point. You could see it. She's starting to make it about Jack and not her, which is hard for her, you know.
For her.
You know,
it is hard for her to make it about someone else.
She's given now. She's really given, you know. She's gonna have to go. But anyways, Colombia is beautiful, but it's.
I don't know anything about Colombia. It's dangerous down there, isn't it?
I don't know. I would have to look it up, and
Is that where like cocaine comes from? Okay, I just stopped to look it up, and Colombia is where 70 to 80% of the world's cocaine comes from.
Sounds like a party to me.
Largest producer of cocaine. That's it. That's what I thought. Anyway, Lisa hugs him, and she acts like she's super happy about where he's going, but I can only imagine what she's really thinking about him going.
I'm nervous for Jack.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. I don't think you don't hear about
No, you don't.
Missionaries
Why
getting
is that?
killed on the regular, because I don't think anything happens to him. I'm sure they keep him in good neighborhoods and stuff like that.
You're
So
probably right.
now we get to Monica and her mom, which honestly, this was like the whole episode for me.
It's like two warriors walking into the Thunderdome. Really.
Two warriors? Her mom is not a warrior. Her mom is a monster. So Monica meets up with her mom at a restaurant, and her mom immediately puts on the waterworks. And I swear, I think she was like forcing that. And then when Monica stops and she goes to the waiter, "Can I have a straw?" Did you notice her mom stopped and looked up, like I think she thought Monica was going to say something to her, and then Monica orders the straw from the waiter, asks for the straw, and then her mom goes back to putting her hands over her, and I was like, wow, this
like a
woman
child,
is an
I noticed
actor.
that. She did like a peekaboo thing.
She did.
Are you looking at me?
Yes.
Yep.
That's exactly what she did. And then she was like, "Oh, I have a headache." And I'm like, yeah, pretending to cry probably really does give you a headache. She is a manipulative woman. Her mom tells Monica that she just watched a movie about a woman who had issues with her mom, and the mom ended up dying before they resolved their issues, and she doesn't want that for them. So she is laying it on thick. Monica tells her mom, "Well, you didn't give a shit when we were over at Angie's house, and I was crying, and you chose everybody else's side and insisted on apologizing to people you'd never met before for your own child's behavior, and now you want me to feel bad for you?"
And then you expect me to sit here and feel bad for you that you're crying right now.
I'm not asking you to feel bad for me. I'm asking you to have a conversation with me.
Don't talk to me like this. Don't talk to me like this.
I'm not going to talk to you like some weak-ass bitch either.
Evening, ladies. Welcome into Monarca. How we doing?
I'm pretty sure that young man pooped his pants as he walked up to that table.
I hope they gave him a good tip.
He was quivering in his voice. "Evening, ladies. Welcome to Monarca. Don't kill me. Please don't kill me." I mean, they had cutlery in their hands. I mean, that mom. Googly eyes is scary. Yeah.
The way she was whipping her head, like,
and your eyes are flipping
"I'm not
left
gonna
and
talk
right.
to you like some weak ass bitch." I was like, holy shit, this woman is a cuckoo bird.
Yeah, mom's temper is coming out for sure. And
I see exactly why Monica is the way she is.
Right. The producers are really doing Monica a huge favor right now by just letting the cameras roll, apparently, because it basically everything we saw in season 7, while not justified. Right, because she did do it. It seemed within the proximity of kids.
Season 7
or episode 7. Sorry, episode 7. I get it now. I understand. Right. It's like Chris Rock once said. I'm not saying she should have done it, but I understand.
Oh yeah, the mom. I think Monica's just so frustrated with having to deal with this type of bullshit out of her mom. You know, this is like all the time.
Right. So we have to take into
take
consideration that mom is sober. The cameras are on, and she's in a public setting. So this is about as good a behavior as you're going to get out of her.
Yeah, imagine
what it's like on the phone.
Well, she said, "You called me." What did the mom thought she wasn't on the phone? What did her mom call her? Remember when they were at the old people place?
Yeah, it was terrible.
The old people place, the
retirement home.
Retirement center.
I don't know. But the grandmother yelled at him as she was walking into the kitchen. "Don't say that."
Yeah. Her mom then brings up Palm Springs and kind of tries to relate how she was trying to calm Monica down the way Monica was trying to calm Angie down when Angie was acting like a crazy person. Monica tells her mom, "I didn't get into her face and humiliate her. You instantly took Angie's side without knowing everything that had gone on between us, and I don't know how that you could do that to your own kid." And her mom's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. And Monica's like, I know you tried crying and yelling and that didn't work. And her mom's like, stop being disrespectful. Monica tells her, you're not going to scold me like a little child. And her mom then starts freaking out saying, I don't care. I just don't care. And Monica says, I know you don't care. And then her mom says, let me talk, you motherfucker. I was like, holy shit. And she goes, did you just call me a fucker? She said, I called you a motherfucker.
Every eyebrow watching that TV episode last night at that moment lifted.
I had to pick my jaw up off of the floor. I was like, holy cow. Monica's mom tells her that they both need to be vulnerable with each other. And when you're ready, we could sit down and figure out where this starts. Monica's like, it started with my childhood when you abandoned me when I was 12 and moved to New York and left me with a family friend in Pennsylvania. And her mom's like, I had to go and start a new job in New York. And New York was more expensive than I thought it was going to be. And then she tells Monica that she has trauma. And Monica then tells her, you have trauma from the way your mother treated you. And we find out in Monica's talking head that Monica's grandma never wanted to have a daughter and never treated Monica's mom very well, and that she always told her mom how disappointed she was with her. And Monica feels like her mother never wanted to have a baby either, and now there is like this line of resentment or like this cycle. And her mom then calls Monica Darnell. Monica's like, why are you calling me that? And mom's like, that's what I named you. And she's like, well, you haven't called me that in decades. And her mom says, I don't know what your fucking name is. You change it every week. And she's like, you know that it's Fowler, which I'm confused because on the show, she's known as Monica Garcia. So which one is it?
Fowler, Garcia, Darnell.
Yeah.
Blank.
I kind of was like, well, that's kind of interesting because...
Yeah, we learned a lot.
When you Google Monica Garcia, she comes up. Anyway, she tells her mom the only reason that her mom called her that was because she wants to treat her like a little girl. And then she brings up how her mom would make out with guys while she was sitting on the back of the trunk of a car.
In the trunk of a car.
Well, that's what I listened to it a couple of times. She said on the back in the trunk of a car. So I don't know if she meant like in the trunk of a car or she was just sitting on the back of the car, like on the trunk, on the outside of the car. Because there's no way her mom had her in the trunk of the car.
So first off, Monica's mom is Lazy Maisie from Horton Hears a Who. She really is. Lazy Maisie.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Because she just left the egg for Horton to raise. While she went off and partied and played.
Oh, yeah. Went to New York, was making out with the guys.
Doing all this stuff.
You know why you call me that? Because that's how you treat me. You treat me like I'm still that little tiny girl that you can shit on and leave here and leave there and get your dream job and your dates. I'll sit in the back of a trunk of a car while you make out with one of your boy toys.
That happened one time. I'm sorry that I kissed a boy.
Has nothing to do with you kissing a guy. It has to do with the situation that I was in while you were doing it. And still right now, you don't give a
No, I don't.
So right there, her mom says she doesn't give a shit, basically.
Well, she admits to basically her kid being in the back of a trunk of a car. I
still don't think she meant she was in the
maybe
trunk
it was
of
like
the
a
car.
hatchback or something like that.
Oh, maybe. I think she meant she was sitting on the back of the trunk of the car.
Or she could crawl into the back from like,
Who
you know,
knows?
like in the middle seat, you could get into the trunk of your car. Maybe it was that. She said, get in it back, you know, because she didn't want to see her. And
I don't know.
And it's not, though, Mom of the Year material.
No.
At all.
Imagine watching your mom make out with some
That's
dude.
probably why she wanted her to sit in the trunk for some decency, and so that she and her boy she was going to kiss. I kissed a boy.
I know a boy, like she's
Neither
some
one of you
young
were children.
Yeah. What the heck? You mean the man you were with?
Yeah.
Monica's mom then says, what am I supposed to do? Get over it. When am I going to be forgiven? And then she's like, I'm hungry. And Monica's like, I guess you should eat. It was so weird. And so her mom's just sitting there eating.
Well, that's just it.
While
If you
Monica's
don't
staring at
care
her.
about, if you don't have remorse, I think Monica made the point. Well, you're not showing any remorse. Why would I forgive you?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like I said here. I really feel bad for Monica. This is where I was really like, okay, Monica, you're batshit crazy, but I get it now.
But
I
feel like
Monica, I feel bad for her being crazy because I know why she's crazy.
Right. But I also feel like Monica realizes the situation. Like, oh, I need to stop this behavior because this is a cycle. My grandma treated my mom this way. My mom is treating me this way. And I need to stop the cycle because I am not going to treat my children that way. And that's where I feel like Monica is self-aware enough to pull herself out of it.
I saw that too, and I hope she does try. I really do, because I think she has 3 or 4 girls.
She
right?
will.
Yeah, she has a lot of kids.
She's 4 girls.
4 girls, yeah, and they're all beautiful little babies.
Yeah. Well, no, she has the one that's older that I think she relies on that one. Like the 17-year-old. Remember, you didn't know that was her daughter? Like back when they were folding blankets. That's her oldest daughter.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Oh. And then she's got little tiny ones. So, yeah. Anyways, her mom tells her, we really need therapy. And Monica says, okay. So I'm assuming that maybe they're going to go to therapy, but I'm guessing after seeing all of the stuff that Monica's mom has been posting, they either didn't go to therapy or the therapy's not working, because they definitely don't seem like they're in a good place.
Those two are going to go through therapy like tissue. Like therapists, like tissue. Because there's such deep-rooted problems with the mom. That's
what I'm saying. I'm wondering if it's beyond.
Yeah.
Like Monica might have to just say,
Monica, why don't you
I
get
gotta
some
save
therapy
myself.
just for you?
Right. I got to save myself. And she's got to save
work on
herself.
how you're going to break that cycle. It's a noble goal.
It is. I think she can do it.
But I think she's going to need help.
Yeah. But I understand a little bit more. She really bugged me like the first couple episodes, especially when she was gunning for Lisa so hard over Lisa having money, know, and it's like, well, she has money.
So Monica is an interesting character. Because
she really is.
She's the well-meaning bad doer, right? She means well, but she tells the truth and infuriates people. She's trying to be. Who was the girl the lady that went to prison again?
Jen Shaw's.
She's trying to be Jen's friend, but then Jen, so much so that Jen says, "You want to be a criminal with me?" And so she gets into these situations where, she's just got, she puts herself in situations where she's tempted. Sometimes she says no, like she did with Jen Shaw, which was very smart. Sometimes she says yes, like she did with her husband's sister's husband.
Yeah.
Right?
Her brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, something like
that. For
that.
18 months.
For bro-law, yeah, for 18 months. And twice. Because remember they...
No, it was just the one time
just
they got...
the one time, that's right.
Divorced and then remarried, right?
They got divorced and remarried and divorced. This
time. She's got a lot of fucking layers.
Like, that's how she started the show. No, I'm divorced again. It's good. It's all good. And then that was how she ended her intro to the season. We're like, oh, this one's crazy.
Yeah, she has got...
She's been going 90 miles an hour since the first episode.
This season really revolves around her. And it's fascinating. And her mom is a complete monster. And now I'm kind of like, huh.
Yeah.
I kind of get it. And I'm surprised that nice little grandma that they took to McDonald's was the one who was treating her mom so badly. What was her name? Mimi?
Lazy Maisie OG.
No, what was
she
her
was
name?
the OG gangster, though. That's what I wrote. She was the OG bad mom.
Yeah.
She was.
Crazy.
Anyways, Crazy Maisie. So we have Crazy Maisie. That was the first one. And we have Lazy Maisie.
Lazy Maisie and Crazy. No, I think her mom's Crazy Maisie too. Anyway, I am definitely fascinated to see how the rest of the season goes, and just following her mom's crazy posts on Twitter after each one of these episodes is... Anyway, that is all we have. So, I don't know. The next couple of episodes look really good. So, I can't wait for them to go on that vacation.
Yeah. And now from here, I guess we go on to...
Beverly Hills. We're going to watch Beverly Hills here in a couple of hours, and we'll have our recap out for that tomorrow night. All right, guys, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.